Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get it on!
Come into the ring, step into the fire, see what you want, baby. If your heart has desire, get out, get knocked down. Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
Good evening, everyone, and you're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. My guest at this time, the one and only Jayden Stehle. Stehle. Okay.
There have been too many mispronunciations. I'm sick of that.
All right. Yeah, and you know what? I saw that on the Rat promo. They really didn't know. Like, they just rolled it right out. Like, you know how they are on the Rat. Those guys.
Yeah, they're a bunch of savages. They're professional savages.
Yeah.
But savages nonetheless.
What year was that? Anyway, I don't even remember. I was looking. I just caught the.
Who was I against?
Some guy, like Undertaker looking dude.
Oh, that was a couple months ago. 8 months ago.
Yeah.
He won the world title that night, but it wasn't against me. So if I had that rematch, he choked me on the rope. So,
man, that's, and of course that was the IWF, if I'm correct, back in the day.
Yes, I was just there last Saturday.
Yes, they're trying to rebrand, I think now, coming back, making a comeback. I heard.
Yes, there was a big hiatus, and now our shows are selling out every time we have one. So I think the rebrand's doing good.
I've been to a couple of them in the past. Maybe I'll have to make my comeback eventually. You know?
Well, they're probably better now because I'm there. But
yes, and Kevin's there, so you know. Hi, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin or KC? There's a.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of K's floating around that roster.
Yes, there is. But anyway, I'm just going to say Jayden, what got you into wrestling as a kid growing up?
The first match I ever watched was Roddy Piper versus Bret Hart for the IC title, and I said, I'm doing that. I got to high school. They asked me, what do you want to do after high school? I said, well, that. So,
yeah. Piper's always one of those guys to look up to. You know, people always mention that, and you know, because he is one of those guys that could tell a story, you know, on the microphone, and you know that for a fact. Everybody,
it's all about the story. If you can cut a promo, you're halfway there.
Exactly. So watch Roddy Piper. Who else as well?
Big Bruiser Brody fan. Any of the Freebirds, they're always good. I don't watch anything new, really. I'm a big classics guy.
Okay. That's good. Like the Ellerndorfs to the Rudes to to the people.
Anderson, Horseman.
Dusty Rhodes. Dusty just celebrated his birthday. Happy birthday, Dusty Rhodes, you know? So shout out to Dusty. Miss him. Great guy. Got to see him.
Eddie's birthday was yesterday, I believe.
It was, yeah. Shout out to Eddie Guerrero too. Happy birthday, Eddie. You know, I remember actually seeing Eddie come to the wrestle actually in Toms River, New Jersey. Like he wrestled Nova in a match. I remember that way back in the 90s, early 90s.
Anything he did with JBL was always like the highlight of my youth.
Yeah. But you know, seeing Eddie at a young age, and you know, his career launched pretty good, and you know, made a name for himself, and you know, and then Ray Mysterio and everybody's taking on the tradition, and just everybody's doing good now, you know.
Yeah.
But besides that, what was your first show going to? Like as a kid, going to a show? Your very first.
I can't even remember. I remember watching tapes when I was younger. I can't remember my first show like exactly because it was probably that long ago. But the most recent show I was at was probably one I was on. I can't even remember.
Mm.
Well, I was at Mania in 2016. When I was in New York, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
We did that whole gimmick, but
Yeah.
that was probably the last year I watched wrestling on TV every week.
I think I got you beat. Number 5 I was at.
Oh,
Oh man.
Seems the dream, but
Yes. Well, wrestling, populated just so much. My area was, at the Jersey Shore, that wrestling was popular back in the mid 90s and 80s. And like, hell, we had National Wrestling Superstar, like NWF was here, NFW, with Paul Heyman. Like, I didn't even realize, like, he was around. I saw Bruiser in a cage. Come on. Like, crazy.
And then, like, I get Pennsylvania where I live 20 minutes away from the Flagstaff ECW arena.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm not a hardcore guy, but
yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, yes, these guys are coming in and doing their thing, and and it's like I tell a story all the time. 18 years old, I walked into I worked at a dollar store, and Balls Mahoney comes walking in the door.
I'm family friends with Super Destroyer AJ Petrucci. Like, I've been around some of these guys my entire life. I met Gene Snitsky before I knew who Gene Snitsky was.
Yes, and he runs that military store there in Hamburg.
Yes, he just did a big grand opening for it. They redid the front.
Yeah, I was up there one time, and my dad and I went in there because my dad's a big military person. So he's like, "Hey, Gene, is that you?" "Yeah, man. I used to see you at the shows all the time." "Good to see you, man." "No, good."
With his fanny pack every time you see him.
Yes. No, it was good to see him though. He always talk wrestling, that, because he was always in the town next, always traveling, like he said, "I just got back from a show." I'm like, yeah, you probably did.
He's unsung in that generation of guys. He does not get enough credit.
No, for his character and his gimmick that he really showed, who he was as a wrestler.
He was committed to whatever they told him to do.
Yeah, but like fast forward to like finding out about independent wrestling, like how you found out about going to a show, like finding weird wrestling,
I found Progress Wrestling in the UK. And that's the only modern wrestling I watch anymore is the European style. Everybody talks about the Japan style and everything going on that side of the planet, but nobody talks about Europe enough. Like, that is the fundamental of professional wrestling. It's not ridiculous. It's sports-based athletic wrestling. And that's what people get hooked on, not backflips, as my opinion.
Yeah, now it's a whole new genre of styles in the ring, and it's amazing though,
Yeah, and sometimes you combine them, and it's magic. There's no other way to put it.
No, and also the way that they do them, sometimes they miss it, and it's like, oh snap, not good, Yeah,
the backflip matches is how you're gonna hurt yourself. Having a good hard hitting European match, stiff punches and tight holds, you're gonna be sore, but you're gonna be sore in the business. I'd rather be sore and walking than sore and out in 3 years.
Well, let me ask you this: what's your finisher? What is your finisher to tell people? What is it?
We call it the 1x1. Once Cesaro gave up the neutralizer, I was like, I like that.
Cool. That's a good move. And Claudio, king of wrestling, as always, shout out to him.
Well, if you're gonna take something, take it from the best. And
yeah, and he's one of those guys that you could had the good move set back in his career. Really when he was just fresh on the scene, and people didn't really know who he was. And, PWG to Ring of Honor to like just like Kachira wrestling, Kachara or whatever it was back in the day.
I've been out there for a seminar before.
That must have been neat. I mean, that was
Drew Gulak was there for that one. That was a great learning day.
yeah,
One,
yeah. Drew is one of those. Drew is really one of those guys that is knowledgeable. He knows what he's and how he puts his promos, and he still does just a great till this day. You know,
he's one of those guys. Everything he does is grounded in reality. It's not video game matches, as some would say.
No, and to see, you know, as a fan of wrestling, you know, I've seen him at the Combat Zone wrestle so many times. You know, like I wish I'd seen him in the early career of his. Would have been awesomer. You know,
Watching the tapes is like his in-ring work has not changed. I don't think it could get any better.
No, just like Joe Gacy. You know, shout out to Joe Gacy. You know, with his twisted tales that he's pulling now with promos and just good stuff coming out of him, you know.
Yeah,
he's supposed to. I think he put something on Twitter tonight. Hopefully, I'm on the match tonight. You know, you better be there.
Is that one of the new NXT guys?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
I've heard the name.
Yeah,
but I don't watch anything really modern. I peek in and out, but if my friends don't tell me about it, I don't know about it usually.
Gacy was Drew Gulak, you know, like the older, not the older CZW, and the newer that came out, you know, before it split, you know.
I heard about all that with the splitting of the roster and everything.
And then it turned into trash and whatever. I don't know.
I know a few guys that really capitalized on that. Like, oh, this side might book me, so we're gonna head down to their show. So it worked out well for some people.
But you know what? They're getting a shot to try wrestling at a promotion that they'd ever attended, and you know, or you know, got a spot and just let's showcase their, you know, which is
it's all about exposure.
It is. And, you know, like you, when you first started training, it's like, how do I get myself into this? Like,
I wasn't into social media. I was against Facebook. I was Facebook's for old people. And now if it wasn't for Facebook, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, you wouldn't be talking to me right on a stream, going live.
Good exposure.
Yeah, multi-platforms, yes, which is good. What's your last title you held? Ooh.
None.
Uh-oh.
I've been doing this for 2 years, 2.5 years, so
it's time is coming. Don't worry.
I think it's better to come in and get your heat as a heel in a lot of everywhere. Yeah. If you can carry your heat properly every single show, you will have to worry, will this title kill my heat? Looking at other champions, because people always want to cheer a champion, depending on who they're against. Like I see it now is in the IWA promotion down in Nutley, New Jersey. We have a show next weekend. Yeah. As the bigger single heel, I can be the opponent to anybody at any given time whenever they need me to. But if I have a championship belt around me, then eventually I'm going to have to be a bigger heel's coming in's babyface. And that could kill the whole gimmick. And well, it's not a gimmick. I'm me.
Yes, you're yourself.
I'm not into that word, but it would kill me there. They would see that I'm trying to be someone I'm not, which is a nice baby kisser. I'm more like my great friend Gene, baby kicker. So it really depends on where the territory of the promotions are. On is this the right time to do this with this guy?
You're right. Yeah, because you could always transition and go a different way as well, to a different state, and be like, all right,
you might need to run away.
Yeah. But you know what? You always climb that ladder, of success. The ladder of opportunities, and those will come. It's hard.
Keep your head down, do your job, get people in the seats, and someone's gonna notice.
Yeah, just get your name out there, and to the right people, and that's it.
Yeah.
So if they're all listening, check this guy out. Please hire him. Get him on your show. He's a good dude.
I'm in multiple training academies. I'm professional.
Yes. Yeah. What was it like for you when you first took your first bump? Oh man,
My first bump was in a boxing ring.
Really?
But I knew I wanted to do this, and my cousins had wrestled in the past in high school, and we had wrestling mats in my basement. So I was watching videos on how to bump and started taking bumps on wrestling mats. And I remember going into school being so sore. And then
it's like the dungeon, like Bret Hart's dungeon, the Stu Hart's dungeon, or the
I hear people. I learned how to bump on my trampoline. Really, that's it.
Yeah.
And then my first year or so of training, I was in a boxing ring. So now, a few weeks ago, I took a floor bump when I was thinking I wasn't too bad.
No, probably different. Different than the ring, The rings are different than boxing rings, that's for sure.
Some rings are a little less forgiving than others, but I like a good stiff bump.
Yeah, they always say like the stiffest rings are the Japanese rings. I hear,
I've heard that as well.
And I'm sure they are. Those tables
rings will survive the test of time.
Their tables are real, folks. Their tables, they don't mess around. You ever saw that in videos? My God, they don't break.
As Mick Foley said, it's a magic table.
Yeah, it's a magic table. Yeah, and how many of the wrestlers and the guys these days in the States, and my gosh, they've tried
the table magic. The back pain is very real.
Yeah. If New Jack could do it from, just looking at old tapes of him in Japan, I'm like, oh God, New Jack, what the hell did you do? Just insane. Just like hardcore's, I like Dusty Rhodes, paved the way, like Mick Foley as well. We're just like, that's a different realm, of wrestling as well.
I think I draw the line at thumbtacks. I would play with thumbtacks, but people want to bring light tubes into it.
You're out of it. Yeah,
pay my year's salary and my medical bills, and maybe we'll have a conversation. But
you don't want to tell stories at the hospital. That's how
I don't. I'd rather be able to have 50 good matches than one match where people say, "You see that idiot that fell on those light tubes."
Yeah, but you know what? Nowadays it's an art, and people don't realize. I tell fans,
with hardcore, the art form was lost with Foley. Everybody saw, look at this guy killing himself, and they didn't realize why he was killing himself, or how he was doing it, or how he was actually over, rather than just. If I fall on barbed wire, they'll cheer for that.
It's like I just watched that Memphis Vice series thing. Did you see that?
Was that the Tales from the Tales with Jarrett? Yes, I saw that.
That was pretty good. They were talking about stuff and that stuff is true. Like people don't realize, like
throwing the rock through Lawler's car.
Yeah. And just being pushed and shoved, and they would punch fans. Come on, can you imagine?
There are some crowds that still get that into it. And if you're a good heel, they will hate you the way you want them to hate you.
Yeah, they'll take you to the back room. God, can you imagine if? Boy,
that's why it's good to have some friends.
Yes, lots of friends.
Or a very fast car.
Yeah, fast car, run away quick, I remember talking to one of my friends. He did a show in, like he's Texas or Idaho or someplace, and he said, "Boy, these people are coming out with pitchforks and starting KKK stuff. It was crazy."
Down south they get very and some parts of Jersey I have found they are very into it. I've been verbally assaulted walking to a bathroom by an older woman. But
yeah.
I see that as job well done tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I ever get into a fight, I just call my buddies up. Hey, I got a
I
lot of
just start fighting people.
Yeah.
Thumb in the eye, grab a nose.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't just keep that in the ring, man.
No, or take the eyeball, right? Like that guy.
Yeah.
that was crazy with that guy. Oh my god, I didn't. That was a crazy story how that guy, got his eyeball taken out during a match.
And he
And I
kept
never.
coming.
Yeah, he kept coming.
Now that's hardcore.
That's crazy. That's like Manson, like Charles Manson, kind of like vibe, kind of. But no, that story. Yeah, Lawler, Cherry really had a lot of crazy moments in his career.
Well, they've been in it since it
I
was a
know.
thing. So I
I
hope
know.
the Garretts have some decent stories for that show.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they bring out next. That need more stories, and they'll probably move like to a different territory.
I was a little disappointed when Cornette said on his podcast he won't be appearing on that show. I was looking forward to that, but
yeah, it's like XPW is making a return, to New Jersey. Big freaking deal, I don't care for that, a lot of guys, the wrestlers, and shout out to my buddy, one of my good friends, Hopeless Jimmy, did not want any part of Rob Black at all.
when they call me, maybe I'll.
Yeah, make some calls, and but he says I'm never. Our Necro Butcher too. I think he even did not want a part of that guy.
I saw him pop up.
Yeah,
someone recently. He's doing something.
He's doing something, but he's into baseball. He's secure in his baseball job. Yeah. But he's, that's the Necro Butcher. That's one of those guys. He's like the Mickey Rourke of wrestlers. Like he's still around just to do a Hall of Fame. Like a ceremony or just stop in and do one more show. Like he's like that guy. The bulldozer just does not give up. Get
that easy. Mm-hmm. Easy money for the appearance.
Yeah. And it's like, you just want to make that one appearance and be known and, have fun. But autograph signings, that's what's fun too, Kid, I don't even remember when the hell I have been the last one in years and years and years. Yeah. Those are
I have never been to an autograph sign.
Those are addicting. You buy so much memorabilia and
if people are looking to drop money on wrestling merch, Standalone Wrestling December 3rd is having a super showcase with Sting. There's going to be, I'm going to be there for the tryouts, but
yeah.
There is, if you're into people, there's going to be a lot of people there.
Yeah.
The match announcements are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
There's the plug for Standalone.
Yeah, shout out to Chad for that Standalone Wrestling.
He recommended me to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
Told me I'd be stupid if I didn't.
No, he's a great person. Yeah, I always like Chad, but they haven't done a show. God, I first remember starting a podcast, and God, I got into his show, and I choked on the mic. I just like, good evening, everybody. Pause. Yeah, right. My hometown, the Brick Township.
I like to keep my tongue ready. We never get tied up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in wrestling, your career. Like, where do you want to? Well, there's so many. Where do you want to see yourself? I know there's so many places.
Everybody wants to go AEW, WWE. I'm in the minority. There's my tongue tie. I just want to wrestle full time in Europe. That's the end goal.
The WXW.
They're going to be, I believe they're at the Super Showcase.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I haven't checked who's coming in a while, but
WXW. I forgot about that. They do a pretty good job with the talent that they bring in.
I like watching them. Like everything. I don't understand all of the languages, bits and pieces, but the crowds are hot over there. They care about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a different environment, and I want to experience that full time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait a minute. Who else is? Wait a minute. There's another guy from CZW that used to go there all the time. Alexander. 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 Huh?
I know Alexander Wolf is big over there. He was Insanity.
Yeah. Alexander, shoot, he's so popular, man. I can't even think. He was with Gacy and all them, like and Drew. I can't think out. Alexander James Alexander. No, he was pretty popular, like a good European wrestler, kind of, But I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the name.
I couldn't tell you. I'll Google it later and give it to you. I'll find him, But
sure, he's somewhere.
Huh?
I'm sure if you lift a rug or something, he'll show up.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't think of his name, man. That's like he was the reverse idiot of. He was the reverse of that MJF guy. Sorry. No, but that's another guy for another time. Forget it. No, he's a waste. I don't like his promos at all. But what have you told? Have you ever pulled a muscle?
I have yet to have an injury.
That's a good thing. Favorite moment? How about favorite spot heckling a person in the crowd? Old person.
If we're talking about crowd heckling, that is my forte.
Yeah, really? Okay.
That is, I like to read the person. Fat woman tells me something, I tell her to shove an apple in the pig. Mm-hmm. Keep your mouth shut, please. Yeah. I'm talking. I open every promo with "Listen up, sheep herders." That's might put it on a shirt. But I was in Flemington, New Jersey for an ECPW show every Saturday. I came out, I took the mic. Listen up, you inbred sheep herders. Read your town. They have a problem down in Flemington. Yeah. I cheered in the back. I had to shut him down. He was not having a good time on my time. Called him out. We know who has the hottest sister in Flemington. If he's cheering like that, his night was done. So I think that one is one of my favorites.
Yeah, or a little kid as well. A little kid as well. You got to get them crying or something,
Get them. Little kids are easy. Just ignore them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't get why these guys come out high-fiving little kids. They're walking petri dishes. That's why everybody's getting like staph infections on the indies.
Yeah. You're right. These kids these days, man, it's
they're like gross.
It's not like we were young and we heckled our first wrestler. We're like, come on, this is like our piece. We got to give it to them. That's our heat. Yeah,
those kids are dirty. To yell at them in the ring, I would not stand toe to toe with one of them little trash goblins. And
then they take that stuff to school and say it all. And it's like,
I'm okay with that. I actually prefer to hear about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If I can give one of those parents a few more gray hairs, that makes my day.
I'm sure, just like this past week on Raw when they had Triple H and the DX out there in the ring and they said "suck it," did their famous thing with that
was my first attention. I told a teacher to suck it. And did the whole DX thing.
Yeah, we used to have those T-shirts and all that, all swag. Gosh, remember that era? Gosh.
Yeah, I had the '69 hockey jersey.
Yeah,
and I told a teacher to suck it, and that was the first time I ever got attention. I think it was like the 4th grade.
Mm-hmm. Then we go out back and show our friends, hey, we're gonna jump over the fence, we're gonna start to show you a new Hell in a Cell match,
Check out my swanton.
Yeah, that's probably how Jeff Hardy and Matt started their career, but then his brother went off the deep end a little,
Guys, we have a chain link fence here. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Dog, yeah, dog crate, dog cage. But that's how cage matches first originated, Remember the old Bundy cage match, Bundy and Hogan inside the steel cage.
I watch those older cage matches with those big stiff blue bars, and I'm just thinking that's got to be hard to hit because they don't give the way chain link.
I remember going to like Tom's River held like a paper, like a pay-per-view. I remember as a kid, and it was the Hogan versus Bundy inside the steel cage. Like, this is cool to see, like on a projector screen. They did a big projector, like, all right, this is cool.
My dad told me about going up to Flagstaff and Jim Thorpe with his buddies, and they were handing dudes cheese graters for these matches. And that's a little
extreme.
Hurts my head.
A little extreme. But to see Bundy in the cage wrapped with the, when he had the ace bandage, remember that? God, just the way that they pulled that off, though. Yeah, those cages were something else back then. Then they just upgraded up,
And now they're red.
Yeah, now they're red. Now they're silver and just different colors sometimes, But if you look back at like old tapes, the chicken wire was popular for a cage, like way back.
I think it's because it was flexible, very small, so you could see right into it.
Yeah, that's because I remember. I think it was when I saw Bruiser Brody inside the cage. It was very thin, like those walls were really thin walls. Thin
well, I'd be
sides.
mad if we got front row seats and I couldn't see Brody through the cage.
Yeah. But I did, so I was happy. I think he was facing Chief J Strongbow or something at the time, I'll have to go back and look at the footage. I mean, I think also Indy Richter was in that cage too, I believe. Ooh, see, the Fantastics were there. I remember that. Like, it's like amazing. And then Dr. D. David Schultz. Like,
I love him. That book's great. His work is great.
I was like in my prime, like that was like I didn't realize he was like, a person, like, as a kid, I'm like seeing this guy in person, and then I get a hold of him through a friend through a friend of a friend, and I had him on the podcast. It was a great conversation just to talk wrestling with like somebody who, did something.
It's just a shame he didn't punch Stossel, in my opinion, but
yeah, you're right.
I'll leave that where it is.
Yeah. But now what kind of music are you into? Ooh, let's get the whole easy.
Anything. If I like it, I like it.
Yeah. Like current song right now in your head. Anything.
There's
or what's on your playlist right now?
A lot of Rob Zombie. Always Rob Zombie. My theme song, of course, it's the best song on the planet. A lot of rock, early rock. I'm a rock guy, but anything. If I like the song, I like the song.
I think on my playlist I have Rancid right now, so I still listen to Lars Fredriksson, and I just try to stay with the old and new. It's like. Creed, of course, you gotta have Creed or STP on your playlist.
I'll wear a Poison shirt, and somebody will be like, "Are you old enough to know who that is?" And I'll tell them who's Poison just to annoy them.
I got a story for you now, Poison wise. I like telling this story. New Year's time, my sister hosted a party at her place in Philadelphia, in PA, excuse me. And this guy and his son walk into the door, and we didn't know who he was, and he walks into the kitchen, and his son's like, "Dad, I could go for some Bing cherries right now." And guess what? It was CC DeVille of Poison. Like crazy, right? Like, he's like, I did that song Cherry Pie by Warren. Like, no shit, really?
Just a happy coincidence.
Yeah, and he was sober. He drank a Dr. Pepper. He was
you have
sober.
a rare experience on your hands.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, because he was that detox and all that stuff. But but crazy just to know he had the power bomb, the bomb T-shirt, with the Poison logo. I was like, all
Dude.
right. So it's cool to have talk with him. No, he didn't play any music for us. That sucked, but he told some stories.
Grab a guitar, get out.
Yeah. I could have ran up to my sister's husband's room, but nah, he would have kicked my ass. But movie wise, you watch anything good? I haven't watched any damn good.
The last one I saw, I think, was the new Thor movie, and I'm pretty done spending my money on movies.
Yeah, there's nothing to really smile or something. I don't know. There's some horror movies out now I want to catch, but I can probably find them online.
The ending is always going to be the same. Happy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. TV shows, cartoons, anything? Nah.
Wrestling.
Okay.
Wrestling.
Okay. Do you like to watch IWTV?
I just got a subscription on IWTV because IWA just got on there where you can watch me and everything you've missed so far, because a lot of people, I'm just going to assume they can't afford the tickets if they aren't there, which I wouldn't be surprised. I've looked at that crowd before. So I think the subscription is cheaper.
It is.
But
and
it's better if you're in the crowd. You can. It is free to get insulted by me and then buy my T-shirt. So I don't know why you would buy a ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no, there's lots of. I always tell people there's lots of good promotions that are just like on there, and some ones that catch your eye. You're like, wow, okay,
You want the best of the indies. That is all there. Fight TV as well. There's always great stuff on there.
Yeah, with Game Changer, of course, and the collective, and when they have the collective, that's like the WrestleMania of independent wrestling weekends. It really is. People want, and hopefully they set a deal where they could do it in Atlantic City would be the best place, because I think WrestleMania is going to be in Philly this year or something. So,
I think so. I'm trying to get somebody to go down and work spring break on the beach, because why wouldn't I want to work spring break?
Yeah.
Trying to find somebody in that area to help me out.
Yeah, actually tonight they're doing something. Actually, they're doing the spelling bee tonight at the Settlement Series at the Williamstown.
I know that IWF is looking at running a shoreside show. Yeah. I forget the exact area, but it's a big building. You open up the side of the building and you're right off the shore. So it sounds like somewhere I want to be. The shore always has the best views. Nature.
They do. They do. Yes, they do. You can't go wrong. It's like when they had. When Game Changer Wrestling first started out, they were in a warehouse right in Howell, New Jersey. Like, come on, like in a abandoned block,
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, and it may make it famous for somebody jumping off the roof,
And now look at him.
He's still doing it. I know. I always call him the evil Knievel of wrestling, because he just just doesn't stop. But
better his body than me.
Yeah, but he gets to go and travel. He travels a lot more than he used to when as a kid. Because you got to remember he started out really young at 16. You think about that guy.
That always has a perk.
Yeah, I mean that's what I always tell my friend. I always tell people I remember going, 16 years old watching this kid wrestle. Like I watched his career.
I started at 18, so the younger the better.
Yeah. Yeah, the younger the better, and it's a shame to see some of the talent that they let go of AEW, like that Marco Stunt was like one of the youngest kids to start wrestling on AEW, but my God, but now we have the future coming up, and he's going to have a contract pretty soon, Nick Wayne, so we'll see what happens. He's the new style, Shout out to him, because he's one of those guys that's going to be make a name for himself,
Depends
But
if they use them right. That's always a problem. You could have all the talent in the world. The promoter tells you you're going to go out
Yeah.
wearing dunce cap and you're the dunce forever. That's what happened to Eugene. He's always going to be Eugene now.
Yeah, you're right. It's like because it's like some of our friends we can like Recon and just everybody. There's a lot of guys in the industry that we've seen on Dark, and it's like they're gonna make it. They're gonna make a name for themselves eventually.
Yeah.
Primal Fear. Shout out to them. Like
Jay Bougie,
yes,
one of the best on this coast.
Yeah, like come on, like he has that the go-to. Like he has that, and the other guys as well. It's like I remember watching them first wrestle at Titan when it first came out. Like when that promotion first took off. I was like, I didn't get to see it early on, but to catch them, they're good talent. But maybe you'll never know. Maybe you'll be at a Titan show. Ooh.
I know a lot of the guys coming up on this one. That's why I'm sharing their posts. So like Ricky Price, MJ Stacks. That's my money for that tournament.
Yeah, they're climbing up in the plus the Rumble. Maybe Mount Olympus Rumble.
I'll keep my schedule open and my contacts very easy to get a hold of.
Charlie or Billy, if you're listening, please give this guy a shot at the Rumble. Doesn't hurt, right? Because you never know, right? Because there's lots of guys going in. They're adding every week now. They, like you said, Ricky and his partner.
Just post me. Don't even talk to me. I'll show up. Trust me.
Maybe you even pop in. You never know that. Just to see what that's like. You don't know. No.
I might just buy a ticket.
Yeah, don't be like that other guy that doesn't show up, but we won't go to that shitty promotion.
Don't show it an event.
Yeah, but anyway, what do you got coming up for yourself? Ooh.
IWA next weekend. The debut of the Stehle Station with my Casey Bonilla guy. I've been around him too long, so we're gonna sort some things out. Me and him. I have a little man-to-man talk. Well, man to whatever that guy is.
Yeah.
And then next month, November's pretty open for me.
December and just every.
I believe IWF is going to be in New Brunswick in December. So there's that. I'm always at IWF shows. Remember where you came from.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. So fans need to keep their eye out for this guy right here. And if not, I'll have to come over to the show and point him out to you, and you'll have to take your knee, beat you up. No,
I'll just give them. It's all about the verbal browbeatings. Physical, I think their parents did that to them enough, and that's why they don't come to wrestling shows. So I just.
But I do like that T-shirt idea that you came out with. That could be a seller. That one.
The Listen Up Sheep Herders. I'm currently talking to people about a design for it. We have a few things up in the air because after somebody told me that's one of the best opening lines to promos, I was like, well, I'm gonna make some money.
I should, you know what? I just put I put it out there too. I need some stupid ideas for my shirts, to sell. I'm trying to think of stuff. It's hard.
I've had guys ask me like, how do you think of a catchphrase? You just gotta go out there and talk.
Yeah,
I always thought I heard people, ladies and gentlemen, or listen up. I'm like, anybody can go out and do that.
Yeah, that's like a oh, it's true, by Kurt Angle, like how he started out.
He just did it, and now it's stuck forever. And I called a group of people sheep herders, and now it's what I do.
Maybe I'll come up with something.
I'm not gonna say where I got it from because it's an original idea stolen from someone by me that I thought of myself to steal it, so it's mine now.
Yes, it is. And if they don't, so keep it. But I can't wait till that comes out. I'll definitely buy it and support it, and you'll buy mine as well, or I'll just give you a T-shirt as well. So we'll be swapping.
If you buy my T-shirt, I'll
Yeah.
send you one for free.
And then
And if I buy your T-shirt, send me one for free.
You got yourself a deal. And I carry cozies with me too. So
I carry stickers with me.
I still have stickers in my stack. I still have those, but I need upgrades. Upgrade. I know a whole bunch of people in the business. I gotta get some new stuff. Pins. I just saw they put a nice line out for Game Changer. I gotta get a hold of that guy. He's from Philly.
Stickers and wristbands are the two. Those are the easiest to push out.
Yeah.
8x10. If you don't have 8x10s, get 8x10s. What are you doing?
Yeah, fanny packs, of course, but nobody really. Yeah, those are pretty.
Hide your knuckles on the fanny packs.
Yeah, the old chain on the fanny pack. You never know. Yeah.
Brick in the fanny pack.
Brick. Yep. Bag of cocaine. No. Bag of
We
flour.
are in the 80s there.
Bag of flour. The oldest gimmick in the book, right? That's the oldest, right? That's the really think about it. Flour.
That's what it is. Flour.
Flour, baby powder or something. I don't know. But that was always the greatest. God, who was the best at that? If I look back in time, oh my God. If we look back in time, oh my gosh.
The Freebirds did it here and there, and they were always pretty smooth with it. It's like the Fireball. You can only remember the good ones.
I think it was Ric Flair, I think. No. Oh, no. I think it was like Rick Rude.
The Rude did it.
Yeah, he did a lot.
I'm pretty sure Percy Pringle kept it on him for a lot of shows.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it's like the Muda with the Mist, like the Mist was so popular. And now it's, that was so popular back then.
It's coming back.
It is. It really is. I was like, hey, we can make money off of that. Hey, fans, want to buy some tablets today? Buy these buy the green mist, from us today.
I sell signed bars of soap, so.
Huh?
Signed bars of soap.
There you go.
Take it out of the box, sign it, put it back in the box.
That'd be clever. I actually have a friend who makes soap, so there you go. Shout out to my friend who makes bath soaps. Ooh.
Don't plug the company. They haven't earned that.
No. But let me say this, Jayden. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And let's do this again down the road.
When I win a belt, I'm going to come for, I'm thinking Brandon Downey at IWA. That seems like very easy pickings if you've seen that guy. So I might be sitting here with the Outbreak Championship sooner rather than later. I need to finish up with this KC Bonilla problem first, this leper of a human being, and then what do you know?
There. Yeah. Take it to the mat, right? Take them to the mat and win. That's it.
Taking the ropes.
Yeah. Feel free to plug yourself. Or anything.
All of those sweet ads down at the bottom right there I'm pointing at, because if you don't, I'll know. So I'll have my people find your people, and my people are probably bigger than yours. So
they are. Not Andre the Giant size, but no, you never know.
Big enough.
Big enough. There are some big guys out there now that are pretty. Like, remember when the Abyss was a big guy? Remember when that guy was like a poplar and big and.
Yeah, and then he put nails in a bat.
Yeah. I was actually looking back at a video on my feed from like way back, and I remember that I saw him versus Tommy Dreamer in Rahway Rec Center when the TNAs did those house shows,
And I watched. I'll see him on like YouTube here and there. I'll just be like, I haven't seen that one yet. Let's indulge.
Sometimes they put on Twitch or whatever. I've seen that on Twitch.
I don't even have Twitch, so.
I used to try it, but I try to keep up with it. Some wrestlers on there,
Everybody's playing video games now. I'm not.
Yeah, that's not my cup of forte, but get those views and likes and shares and gifts and whatever the hell. I don't know. It's Pokemon change and I don't know. But let's do this again when you win that title, or I can see you.
Hey, you know how to contact me. I'm pretty easy to contact.
Yes.
Promotions, remember how easy I am to contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just pick up a message. That's it. Thank you for coming on. You have a good night.
Anytime, you too.
And I'll see you soon. Maybe November. Never know. You never know.
Maybe.
All right. Good night, everybody. But stay tuned. What do I got coming up? Deathmatch Russell podcast coming up. What's today? Hell. I'm so lost for podcast. Shit. What the hell do I got? I have no clue what I got. Nothing this week. Stay tuned next week. I better look right now so I don't frame myself, because I know I'm going to get yelled at by the wrestler or something like that. You know how they are. That's a bad podcaster, folks. No, when you can't think of who you have on. I just deleted it. Nice. No, that's you. You run. That's right. And I believe I have it posted on my feed. Stay tuned. I'm going to have Primo of Pro Wrestling, a guy from Colorado, on my podcast. He's a deathmatch wrestler.
That's really far. If he's deathmatch, he can keep his distance over in Colorado. I'll stay here in the great state of Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So
XJ Chahos is going to be Chaos. Is going to be Chaos. XJ Chaos will be on the podcast October 16th. There you go, at 8 p.m. Thank you. I got it right that time. I got your day right this time. Fans, check them out on the web. Check them out in the ring near you. IWA show, IWF show, wrestling everywhere in the world.
I share everything I'm on. So
Jayden Stehle. Stehle.
2 words you can make.
Stehle. Okay. Good night, everybody. Till next time. And find the pause button. Good night. And leave. And
you can find more Deathmatch Wrestle podcast on the following. Just hit the like button and share. You can hear the audio portion of Deathmatch Wrestle podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes. Social media, Deathmatch Wrestle podcast on Facebook, Twitter at DavidNJ32, Instagram, DavidNJ36, YouTube, David C. Russell, and DeathmatchWrestlePodcast.com. Joners Wrestling Podcast Network. Head over to WrestlingWithJoners.com. Follow them on Facebook, Joners Wrestling Podcast Network. Twitter at @WithJoners_pod. I want to mention Collar and Elbow. Collarandelbowbrand.com. Use the promo code Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast and save 10% off when you make a purchase. Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast.
Be sure to visit BrainbusterTees.com for Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast merchandise.